Good morning, everybody. Thought I'd do a quick video today. A year of the truth, huh? Let's hope so. I'm getting a kick out of this Cat Williams exposing all of his Hollywood counterparts. Is that you, Al? You out of here? You gonna go work out?
Yep.
All right. Have a good day at work. See you later. We're live streaming.
Okay.
Have a great day.
Somebody pooped over here.
No way. Wow. Well, grab it. Hold on. Diesel. I know it was you, Diesel. Sorry about that, guys. I don't think that's ever happened when I was on live stream. These dogs are housebroke. It was Diesel. Because Diesel was the last one up. Everybody was already in the kitchen waiting on their TREAT. I can't say the word out loud. It'll be mayhem. And he just went straight. Came around to get his treat. Oh, I said it. They all looked at me. But, yeah, that's weird. That's the first time they've ever done it. It was Diesel. I know it was Diesel. But, like I was saying, that deal with Cat Williams, man. He's telling it all. And other people are coming out with him. And then you see stuff. Then you see stuff like all these DEI coordinators around the country are getting fired. Everybody, all them people, they're getting rid of them. And like sports, man, the NBA, the NFL, the referees are just referees gonna get hurt. Somebody's gonna hurt one of these referees for calling a penalty or a foul or striking out a guy with a terrible pitch. It's just somebody's gonna get hurt. These referees are just, it's too blatant now. It's too blatant. Speaking of sports, I'll wake and bake with you guys as usual. But the Lakers-Raptors game last week, I saw a quick little snippet of it about the free throw disparity. But when I heard the whole story, I was just like, wow, this is terrible. This is just terrible. So the Lakers played the Raptors last week. The Lakers won by 1 point. But in the fourth quarter, the Lakers shot 23 free throws to the Raptors 2. And they won by 1. And then the person doing the video goes on and expands on the stats that I think it was last year. I want to say last year they used the stats that the Lakers had 479 more free throw opportunities than their opponents. And in the playoffs, they had a 200 and something free throw advantage over their opponents. Now, when you sit back and look at those stats, you're like, kind of loaded over there. And they asked LeBron, so LeBron, what do you attribute to tonight's flurry of fouls? They foul more than us. Or the referee, made sure they fouled more than you. And it was bad. They showed several of them. There was one play, a guy, ball's coming in, and him and LeBron go up, tip at it. side by side. There's a pass. This guy's making a good defensive play, and he doesn't even touch LeBron. As they go up, and LeBron flew 10 feet in the air and lands. He's like he's hurt. And they call the foul on the other guy. And then a few plays later, down low, the guy backs into LeBron, or that guy, LeBron backs into that guy, and that guy just goes flying. No, he didn't go 10 feet. He flopped, and he gets a foul. And that was the two. They got 2 free throws. That wasn't even it. That day I didn't even get to shoot because he was on defense. But it's just when you see that kind of stuff, when you see all those penalties in the NFL, not the worst time, right? All game long, no penalties. Scattered one here and there. Then nothing big. Then all of a sudden, man. Oh, wait, they're driving. Oh, they've been stalled. Oh, there's a flag on the field. First down. Oh, looks like they're going to have to punt. This is going to be it. Oh, there's a flag on the field. First down. It's just so hard to watch anymore. But the truth's coming out. The truth's coming out. When you watch these pro sports, it's just, wow. Anybody think common sense is just like, oh, man. But the Cat Williams deal, that's just great, man. And saw a deal yesterday where old Samuel L. Jackson don't like Steve Harvey. I always thought Steve Harvey's fade, man, that thing, I always thought it looked like styrofoam. And it was fake. Cat Williams, it's like, you got a man unit. And it was right after that. They showed the clips where he's laughing at him and saying, you got a man unit. It was right after that Steve Harvey went bald. He was just Mr. Bald now. But how do you go from that kind of freaking tight, perfect freaking afro / fade to bald, slick bald? I mean, not even a hint of a hairline where his hair used to be. That's what I always thought was so funny. You know how people are that they finally shave their head, but where their hair was, it's a different shade, and it takes a while for that shade of skin to change. It just is. That's weird. But he went straight from, what did Cat Williams say? You had everybody thinking you had one of the tightest fades any brother in the world, and you were just faking. It's a man unit. But the truth is being exposed, and I ran across a little truth of my own. It was I think I told you on the last video that Sons of Christ Ministries, I think so. What's the name of it? I forget his channel name. What is it? Sons of God Ministries. Sons of God. But wow. Talk about a veil being lifted and some truth being found out. I had always sat uneasy. It always sat uneasy with me about how there was so much murder and death in the Old Testament. I mean, just wow. Not just, oh, they stole our cattle, we're going to defend ourselves. No, this is just bloodthirstiness. And when I watched that guy's series on the bloodthirsty God of the old Bible, or the Old Testament, I mean, wow. A veil was lifted. I'd always, in my mind, associated the verbiage in the Old Testament of they worshipped gods, other gods of an idol, right? Not anything tangible that could make any difference or affect their lives. It was a mental thing, right? But turns out when you run across somebody that does the hard work, I mean the hard work, all the way down to etymologies of words, all the way to the oldest of texts that we have. Septarian, I think it's called. The oldest stuff. And this guy's hit him. He's read it. And he has to have read it because he fucking off the top of his head spits it. This dude knows this shit. And I wouldn't have believed it if he wasn't so good at going to the verses and showing the situation. The thing they do that's so tricky with their translation of the Bible was throughout the Old Testament, especially. They name other gods, and they use terms like the Lord God. They use all these different phrases that make the layperson believe that they're talking about God. They're talking about God. Because everything else are idols. We're idol worship. And, come to find out, there were several lesser gods. And they did. Yahweh is one of them. Was one of the lesser gods, an evil one, the devil. And I just, wow, when I saw that, I was just like, what? Because he points it out pretty clear that here it says, when you do the etymology and the translation, this is El Elyon, and this is the Father, this is the Most High God. And then they talk about Elohim, which is a lesser God. And then there's Yahweh, and there's all these gods. This guy points out, and the one time I read the Bible through, it was an audiobook, so I guess I didn't read it, but I did audiobook. And you hear those names. You hear those names, you see the stories, and I guess just for lack of understanding and unwillingness to stop, get on the internet, start searching and researching, right? So it's for the regular person, it's hard. It's hard. We're lazy. But this guy's done the work, man, and wow. He for me, he's making it more clear, and through Stanley, through the text, that the theologies that we've been taught, the things that they're claiming as their Stanley, the things they're claiming are biblical truths, are true in a whole different way that they've told us. And when you see it, wow, what a relief. Because I'd always been uneasy with that. It's like, man, Jesus Christ said, my Father does not tempt. But in the second Genesis creation story, he put the tree of knowledge of good and evil and the tree of life in the Garden of Eden to tempt them. Jesus said, my Father does not tempt. He doesn't do it. Yeah, I mean, he says, his Father doesn't, they don't require sacrifice. They require obedience. And in the Old Testament, Yahweh, the God of the Old Testament, required sacrifice. God doesn't do that. God the Father doesn't do that. He doesn't. Jesus told us, I don't need that. I need your obedience. I need you to worship me in the spirit, not in the flesh. And wow, I never really put that together. Because our preachers, they do us such a disservice. They don't take a passage like that where Jesus says himself, my Father doesn't tempt, he doesn't do that. and then go down the Old Testament. And we start all the way in Genesis where God is tempting. Who is this? Is this our God? Is this the God? Is this God the Father? Is this El Elyon? No, it's not. And it tells you it's not. But they're so encapsulated in their theology from their ministry. What do they call them? All of a sudden the words get my brain. But their institutions they come from tell them, this is what it is. This is what it is. And we look back in history and come find out the bloodthirsty God Yahweh just took up service with the Catholic Church. And that's when you see in history all this murder and death through the church. And they took it upon themselves to say, hey man, our God, he said no. If you don't do it our way, we're gonna kill you. That's what God says, and not us. Think about that. Our loving God. Says kill them people because they believe in the Trinity. 1600s, the Crusades, they believe in the Trinity. We're gonna burn them at the stake. Our loving God doesn't do that. And once my brain was able to parse that, separate that, and come to understand that when the Bible talks about other gods, there were other gods. And I've always been told, it's metaphors, it was idols, it was conjurings of their minds. No. Yahweh brought famine. He brought rain for them. He brought death and murder. He gave them food. He did good and bad, but he had to do good after he did bad. He didn't have to, but he did. That's kind of the way he manipulated Israel. And Israel fell for it every time. And he had a paper that he had found in his research, and I want to say it's from the early 2000s, if not late 90s, where a group with Netanyahu, Jared Kushner, who else? What other big name was on that? I forget. There was recognizable names on this document that talked about a new Jerusalem in Ukraine. Yeah, Ukraine. Not in Israel. In Ukraine is their long game. And when you see what's going on in Ukraine and you see what's going on in Israel and you hear the rumblings around it that now Israel has gone too far, you need to stop. You've gone too far. That's enough. And Israel going, not even close. Tell every one of them, we're done with them. And everybody else is going, okay, man, whoa, appropriate. Back off a little. And they're like, no, nope. That's that bloodthirsty God of the Old Testament that they worship in the Torah. Eye for an eye, baby. Eye for an eye. And then Jesus in the New Testament said, turn the other cheek. If your brother wrongs you, how many times should you forgive him? 7 times 77. You're supposed to forgive. Don't lash out. Don't take a life. But the bloodthirsty God of the Old Testament says, do away with them, or I'm going to do away with you. You bring me my sacrifice, my blood sacrifice. It's going to be rough. It's going to be rough on you. And then the priesthoods of the Levitical and always, man, when I go to say the word, I forget it. Melchizedek. The Melchizedek priestly order and the Levitical. And the Melchizedek was the order of God, our God, the Father. And the Levitical was Yahweh. And man, I know what the first time I heard somebody on YouTube going, Yahweh, you know, if you read the Bible and you do the etymology, his name was Yahweh. Well, you didn't read it close enough, because it distinguishes that Yahweh is the bloodthirsty one and that El Elyon is God the Father. And I'd said 3 years ago, me and Alan kind of dissected Genesis 1 and 2, and they're so totally different, just so totally different. And people always tell you, a lot of Bibles will have a little disclaimer at the top. This is a retelling of Genesis 1. It's not even close. Not even close to the same thing. Not even close. And when I saw at Genesis 1, God made man in his own image, both male and female he made. And the words say our image. And he made male and female. So God is androgynous. He's both at once. He's all things at once. And that, I never really seen it that direction, but I knew that it was different. And that immediately, you know, he creates them and he sends them out to populate the world, to be fruitful and multiply, and to restore. And that's the thing, to restore. And so restore means fix it back where it was. Something happened. And then you read Genesis 2, a totally different story. Genesis 1, Garden of Eden's not even spoke of in there. But in 2, built a garden and created them outside the garden, built the garden, put them in the garden, tempted them in the garden, and kicked them out of the garden. That doesn't sound like a very loving God. And it just, wow. And he pointed out as strange things. If he set up the garden for them and had everything they ever needed to eat, why did he have to make a man to till the ground if the garden was going to provide? Yeah, okay, I got you a garden here, but you're going to have to work your butt off to cultivate it. You have to get out there and work by the sweat of your brow. That's not El Elyon. That's Yahweh. You know, God created them and sent them out to have dominion. He didn't freaking set up a garden and tell them to get to work. I don't know. Wow. I'm seeing a lot of things differently. And I was on the edge about going, this just don't set right. This just don't. Something's up. Something's up. Well, now that it's clarified in my mind, there are definitely other gods. And the different aspects of angels, the different, just the different philosophies between the two. And for the Jews, I see it now that, geez, the Bible, that was what Revelations, and that's what the end was all about. And Christ's return was, okay, Jews, there you go, man. We're trying to show you. We sent you your Savior. We sent you your King. And you denied him. And this guy points out real good that there's kind of a lull after Christ leaves of giving everybody a chance. Come on. Like 40 years or so. Come on. You know, you got a chance. Come to Christ. Worship the Father, the one and only God. true God, come on. And the Jews went, yeah, no, we're going to stick with this Torah. That guy that came and died, and, the veil ripping and darkness and all that, that didn't really mean what you're telling us. That didn't mean we should listen to that dude or Yahweh. Morning, dear.
Morning.
Yep. Live streaming.
Hmm?
I'm live streaming.
Okay, so-
No, you're not. Don't start that. We're going to
No.
Puerto
Go Diesel.
Vallarta.
Go Diesel. Go Diesel.
for 5 days.
Where's Fred?
On Sunday, going to Puerto Vallarta, and she just walks in and goes, I think I'm getting you sick. I've been telling her to megadose vitamin C for the last 2 weeks. I've been taking vitamin C every day last 2 weeks, magnesium, zinc. We got some black seed oil. That stuff's making me feel better. But she walks in going, I think I'm getting you sick. Oh my God. I'll have to take Baxter to Puerto Vallarta with me. Leave her home sickly. Me and Baxter will be chilling on the beaches in Mexico. We're going with her sister, brother-in-law, and another friend of theirs, I think. And I can't wait to see it because I know it's going to be funny, but I don't want to see it. And I'll wait till Kathy walks away. I say this, but her sister weighs 325, 350. Her brother-in-law probably 400. And they're whiter than mayonnaise. Canadians. And oh my God. The four of us walking together is going to be such contrast. We'll be able to walk in their shadow. Does that mean? But they've been obese most of their lives. Her sister, oh my God, one of the funniest things ever. Sad but funny. We're at her grandparents' house in Canada, and he has a wooden deck, and we're all sitting out on the wooden deck. And her sister comes out of the back door, steps onto the deck, and goes straight through it, all the way up to her knee. And oh my God. I never seen anything like that. I was looking straight at it too. I'm sitting there facing the door, and she comes out. Boom! Oh shit! And that same night, her dad got so stinking drunk he couldn't even talk. We're all just sitting there, and all of a sudden, Rudy. Nobody asking me anything. Nobody said a word to him. Rudy just starts going, yeah. And Kathy's mom just goes, okay, we're leaving. Let's go, Rudy. Okay, let's go. And I got blamed for it. Because I was being nice. I bought the man a fifth of vodka. They didn't have none. They love vodka. I thought him and his wife were going to share it. I thought they were going to take a day or two. No, Rudy went, shh. And they're like, why would you do that? Why'd you do that? I said, Kathy was with me. She said, don't buy my dad no liquor. He's an alcoholic. But she didn't. So I did. And it was... First time I went to Canada, meet her sister and brother-in-law. And he says, hey, you want a beer? Sure, I'll take a beer. He goes in the fridge. Think about this. He goes in the fridge. He's like, we're going to have to go get some. We're like, I have to go get some. He knew we were coming for a month and have a beer. All right, fun. We go down to the local. This was weird. I never knew this is a deal in Canada, not anywhere else that I know of. But went down to the local bar, and you can go in the bar and buy beer. Buy a 12-pack. Okay, so whatever you want. And take it home. So we go in. And he says, yeah, give me a 12-pack of OV. She brings it up. And I said, I'll get this. And he stepped back quick. Okay. She brings up a 12-pack. This is 1997, 97, I think. Towards the end of 97. And she says $24. And I was like, it's only a 12-pack. And she's like, yeah, eh? And I'm like, no, there, eh? And she's like, oh, yeah, eh? $24. And I'm like, but it's only 12. I want 24 for $24. And that's the way it is in Texas. Yeah, no. I couldn't believe the price of it. And then when we bought that vodka, that fifth of vodka was like $32. I shit you not. $32 for a fifth of vodka. A handle was like 70. The cheap stuff. But that's going to be fun. They're not big drinkers or anything, so I'm not going to get to see no fat people get drunk and fall down. But they're nice enough. I'm gonna try and go scuba diving, well, snorkeling. If they have a deal where you can go take an hour course and go scuba diving, I think I'm gonna. I've always wanted to. I've never had a chance to. If I have a chance this time, I'm going. I've always wanted to. But she sure got us off track, didn't she? Her coffee's ready. Hold on. Oh, it just finished.
Hi. Oh, yeah, I was just snoring.
I'm still live streaming. Just a blank screen over there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, this bipolar weather we've been having around here. The other day it was I think the low was 19 right there.
17.
17 was the low the other day. Didn't get up to about 34 all day. And then the next day it was in the 50s. Today I think it's supposed to be in the 60s. And speaking of, today it's supposed to be 57, but today I got to go to town and buy the paint for my truck. Take it to the body shop. They're hopefully while I'm gone next week they'll paint that sucker, and I'll get my truck back in the next 2 months. That's been a nightmare. I've never been through a bigger nightmare than that. Love you, dear. I'm still trying to get that. Right? You need to megadose that vitamin C if you're feeling sick like that. I'm ducking 2,000 a day. Sorry, but the vacation, that's gonna be fun. Looking forward to that. But we hadn't been on any trips like that. We never were into that. Years ago, we went on a cruise with my parents. My dad, through his company that he sold air conditioners through, if he sold enough of them, he'd get free trip for 2. Well, he got every year he sold enough to get a free trip, and you could take other people for discounted prices. And so us and the girls went. And cruises, yeah, I won't do another one. I didn't care for that at all. It was just the room. We thought we got one of the nicer rooms. Man, that thing wasn't much bigger than a closet. That was weird. And my parents, who had a nicer room, that thing wasn't 2 feet any direction any bigger. Wasn't no big difference. So yeah, only thing I enjoyed about that cruise was back then, the ports we went to, me and my dad would go play golf. And so we hit some nice golf courses on the way. That was fun. But as far as the cruise, no thanks. Not into it. But a year of truths. Man, wouldn't that be a turn for the righteous if we could get truth revealed and at least start getting a semblance of morals and humility in our leadership, some sense of service and responsibility rather than enriching and empowering themselves. I can't believe the deal I read the other day that they approved. At one point they had approved, this was back October, November, Congress approved $65 billion for Ukraine. And at the same time, gave themselves a 21% pay raise. Wow. Who wouldn't love to be able to do that? Who wouldn't love to be able to just everybody get together and go, guys, my wife says we're paycheck to paycheck. I gotta have a raise. And then, in my experience, 3-4% raise annually is the norm. And the last time we raised our salary was about 4 or 5 years ago. So, if my math is right, we're due a 20-something% raise. Is that right, boys? That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Let's. Everybody good? Yeah. I mean, we haven't given ourselves a pay raise in a while. Let's do 22%. Everybody sound good? Sound good. Make it so. That just on the surface is crooked. Congress should have, from the jump, had a schedule. X amount with the cost of living increase every year for just inflation, whatever that is. You're not here to get rich. You're not here to advance your station in life. You're here to help the people that went, dude, you're a good leader. Go lead us for a while, okay? We trust you. Go lead us. We're behind you. But do what we sent you there for, okay? All right. They don't do it. Excuse me. But they don't do it. They don't do it. Some do. It doesn't matter. That's a crazy thing. As my whole life, that's all it's been, is whoever's in charge. They'll have 2 or 3, maybe sometimes 4 or 5 of these outspoken pushers, superstars, out there saying all the things we want to hear, telling us I'm fighting for you, and never winning a single battle, losing every time, and coming to us going, we didn't get everything we wanted, but we got some. No, you didn't get anything you wanted, and you gave up more than you ever thought of, that you ever planned. Happens every time. Flip it over to the Democrats, they'll have their superstars. You know, just wow. They are so mean to us. They are. They are. Congress treats its constituents the way a mean old lesbian teacher treats her class. She gets rainbows and lollipops, and everybody else sits down and shuts up. I'm doing the best for you. Don't you realize that? Leave me alone. Don't point out the fact that I'm getting kickbacks. Don't point out the fact that I just got a book deal for $10 million and nobody knew who I was before I become a senator or a congressman. It's just wow. It is bad. And this whole, I don't even know about Trump. I don't know about any of them. It just, who can you trust? You can't trust these people anymore. Truth has to come out. Just has to. They're going to pull something big. Listen to Josh's Bible studies and stuff. It seems him and other people in his community seem to think that all this going on is them pushing the narrative from Revelations about New Jerusalem, wars, rumors of wars, all of these things. And we have the technology to create what people would look like are end time signs. They're going to have a Messiah figure come on scene somewhere. They're going to do it. And a lot of people are going to believe. A lot of people are going to believe. And that's what Jesus says too. Even in the end, very few come to the knowledge. It's a very narrow gate. And very few find it. And when Jesus tells me that, I'm like, okay, I'm listening. This ain't easy. This takes complete faith. This takes unquestioning faith other than the discernment to know good and evil. To know what the game plan is. And like Jesus said, it requires obedience, not sacrifice. And people who've fallen into the lie of it's all about your works aren't seeing the message. The message about works is if you have that true faith, then your works will reflect it. And that merely means, are you displaying the Spirit of Christ? Are you? Because that's your works will follow if you're in the Spirit. And it's not a situation of, okay, everybody get up. Let's go to church. Got to pay our tithes. Look what I did. I'm obedient, Lord. Then Monday at work, they're passing porn around, laughing and joking, making fun, opposite of what they're supposed to do. But they did it on Sunday. And that's a funny thing. That's been kind of the narrative pushed my whole life. If you don't come to church on Sunday, your sins for the rest of the week are going to be really out of whack. So come get that balance, get them forgiven, do your thing, and then next week, do what you do. Then come back Sunday. Come back on Sunday, and we'll purify you. Now, one of the things these guys tend to believe that I'm finding hard to believe is just the universal salvation, that in the end, well, I don't know if you call it universal salvation, but in the end, when God calls an end to it all, everybody's going to be saved. I don't like that message for one reason only. too many people are going to hear that and go, then why? Why would I do this? Why would I put that effort out and study this Bible and pray without ceasing and be still and know He's God? And when am I going to be saved in the end? I can do the fleshly thing. I can have fun. I can raise hell. I can enjoy this world here. And in the end, I'm gonna be. He's gonna condemn me for eternity. He's not gonna do that. I like that message. But when you look at it, the message is El Elyon, the God the Father, is an all-loving Father. He's not going to treat you bad. He's not. And in the end, when He rids the space of all the other gods and demons and brings it all back into one thing, I guess why wouldn't He bring everybody, every soul He ever created? I don't know. But I just think that message opens up people to giving up and going, why would I try? What do I care? What do I care? I stand like. But let's look for some truth, guys. Look for some truth. I'm going to let her go now. And love y'all. Good discernment, good vibrations.